Hey developers! Today I have a special guest, Dylan from Coding Tutorials 360. We have a quick announcement for all of you regarding a Facebook group. You want to listen to that. And then I talked to Dylan about starting your own YouTube channel. What do you need to do and what you should expect? Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up everybody? This is Erik. And today I have a special announcement here. I have Dylan from Coding Tutorials 360 here. And we have been talking for a while. We're friends. And I was talking to him the other day about creating a Facebook group. And Dylan graciously offered to let me become part of his Facebook group, Code Tech and Caffeine, and to help moderate it. So I thought, this is great. Why don't we combine forces here? Dylan, tell us a little bit about this Facebook group. I know it's been growing really fast. Tell us a little more about it.
Yeah. So we have just under 4,000 members right now. It's something I started about 6 months back, maybe. And I wanted to be able to share links, and I wanted to be able to talk about topics that maybe didn't deserve a full 10-minute video or something like that. Someplace where people could, people are always asking for help in the comments. And unfortunately, even on smaller channels, you can't reach out to everybody individually and dive in to their issues. There's just not enough time. So I wanted to create a group where people can not only can I share videos and articles and things like that to people who would be interested in them, but people who also want to share whatever they're interested in. Because I think one of the crucial parts of kind of being a developer is being immersed in the community and learning, and that's kind of how it all came about.
That's really cool. So it's kind of a discussion, not just one person talking to everybody, but kind of getting a lot of different people coming in and giving their ideas and feedback. Do you think it's more of are you getting all sorts of people? Are you getting like beginning developers? Are you getting more advanced or intermediate, or how would you judge that so far?
Yeah. So it goes all over the place, right? So you and I, we're both working developers, and then there's people who will post their success stories and, say, these are the resources. This is the path that I took. Anything I can go to help you for. People are looking for advice as well, saying, hey, I'm looking at it right now. A couple hours ago, someone said, hey, there's a IT support spot at a software company. Is this good? Is this bad? Can I kind of weigh the pros and cons? So, people are really looking out there. I know when I come across free, last week, I posted a link for 1,000 different programming books that Microsoft was giving away for free. And so if that was something you're interested in, there you have a link. And not everyone's going to see it. Or, Udacity right now, someone shared a link there. Their nano-degree programs are 50% off. So it kind of covers a whole range of things. It could be a meme. It could just be anything. But in terms of the developer, I think it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely. I think our channels kind of align a little bit. I know you did pretty much every single free coding camp tutorial. You recorded almost every single one. And right, it took about 2 years to do them all.
So Free Code Camp, the front end certificate probably took me about 9 months, and then I started working on the back end, and the microservices were pretty quick once I understood what was going on, and that took me about a month or two. I still need to do the back end projects, but I don't think I'm ever going to get around to it.
Yeah, so I think that definitely you have a lot of beginner content, and now you're starting to give more advice videos, and you're doing some algorithms and some other things, and I think my videos, I cater to some beginners, but I also have some more specific tutorials on Vue.js and Ember.js and some advice for all sorts of developers. So I think that's a good cohesion between the different channels. So I think we complement each other, and I think this is awesome. Yeah, so I'd definitely recommend, if you're watching this video now and you want to join a group, be a part of a conversation, I'll put a link in the description below on exactly how you can join the new group, the Code Tech and Caffeine group. And we're probably going to be changing some of things around, maybe definitely the name, some other little things, but it will be helpful. And then you can join in, introduce yourself, say hi. There are a few rules. I think, don't be a jerk. Don't just spam the group with useless crap. Is there any other rules?
Yeah, man, don't be an asshole, right? That's basically it. Don't shit on anybody else, and don't spam us with links to your course that you're trying to sell, right? The only person spamming are us two. All right, let's keep keep that one under it. So, but honestly, just treat people like you want to be treated. It's kind of, it's sad that you have to mention these things, right? Like the rules are treat people like how you want to be treated, and just be supportive, right? There's a lot of negativity out in that world, and we don't need to include it in a bunch of people who are trying to better themselves as developers. And it's especially for us being kind of semi-public figures, right? You get, just by being the sheer amount of people you're exposed to, you always get a little bit of negativity. Especially, I started my channel before I was a developer doing basic stuff, and people have seen me evolve as a developer, but I still have like the videos where I'm struggling with variables up. And you occasionally get people to talk shit on you, but don't be one of those people.
Yeah, I think that's a good rule. It's like, you should just treat people like you want to be treated. I mean, let's follow the golden rule here, people, and be respectful, of course. Of course, I mean, from what I've seen, though, there's very little of those type of problems. Most people are really respectful and encouraging, and definitely a great place to check out. So, like I said, I'll put the link in the description below. So while I have you here, Dylan, I'd love to ask you a couple of questions, since I got you on the hook and the line here.
Yeah, hit me with it. What we got?
So I know, so I've come across, and I'm not going to name any names, but some people have said that competition on YouTube is bad. That there's a number of us developers on YouTube, all different ranges. Some of us all the way up to like academics, PhDs, doing crazy, talking about artificial intelligence and really these complex topics, all the way to people that are just starting out but want to join a YouTube channel and teach other people what they know. So I guess the what I'm trying to get at is that there's this idea that maybe there's too much competition. I don't agree with that. I mean, what is your take on YouTube and competition?
I mean, I think any field you go into in YouTube, if you think that you're going to be the only one, that you are sadly mistaken. And just from a more that's a practical standpoint, but in terms of, I want to, like, if you're worried about competition in YouTube probably isn't for you. YouTube is kind of a marathon for most people, not a sprint. And I feel like if you're in that mindset, that's the issue you're going to get. But it also, I mean, look at us right now. We're technically in competition, right? We're technically competing, but I don't look at it like that. Here we're joining up, we're making ourselves better. Yeah. And what we're trying to do on YouTube and with our Facebook group now. And instead of pushing each other down, we can help rise each other up. And it's not as if there can only be one channel with one viewpoint or one project. So I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's just pure stupidity. That's all it is. It's just pure stupidity and ignorance.
Yeah, I think the idea, like, the rising tide, raises all boats. So we're definitely, as more people come into the ecosystem, I think we're just at the beginning of this crazy, rush where people are coming in and everybody's looking to learn web development. They're looking to learn programming. And so when you get a flood of people, they're going to have options, and not everybody's going to click with somebody. Some people will click with me. Some people will click with you. Some people will click with someone else on YouTube. And I think as more people come in, we can all kind of help each other out and raise our standards.
Well,
and
also,
raise not just the standards, but just raise the amount of influence, the amount of people watching our videos, which I think is good. I'm not saying that we should all hold hands and sing Kumbaya and that we should all combine into one channel. No, I think competition is healthy, because I keep an eye out on other people and I say, hey, that guy's doing this and that guy's doing this, and it might influence me for a little bit of the direction I'm going. But I think at the end it's good, and it's good to have some cooperation between different YouTubers. So on that note, what do you think, like, if you wanted to start a YouTube channel, and let's say you didn't start the 3 years ago you started, or 4 years ago you started, and you're starting today, how would you start your YouTube channel today?
I would not do a coding channel. That would be I would definitely go for an opinionated channel where I could put out a video every day, and for something that's going to be much more watched, unless you're specifically asking about a coding channel, because I created my channel not necessarily make money on YouTube, but to be a video portfolio. But if you're looking for YouTube as a career, there are very few coding channels bringing in those types of views to do something like that.
So if you go in it for the money, yeah, maybe not the best idea.
Well, it goes back to the marathon versus sprint. I feel like the people who are complaining, like they're too worried about competition. Like there's always going to be competition, especially on a free platform where anyone can post. You're fighting a losing battle. Like if I made a video yesterday, it doesn't matter how passionate it is, it doesn't matter what it is, just complaining about people being on there, not a single person is going to drop off of YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But if you had to start go ahead.
If we're starting a programming channel, what I would say is start. And that sounds kind of basic, but a lot of people, I'm sure you've heard it quite a bit where people ask you all the time, hey man, I want to start a channel. What can I do? I'm going to start a channel, but they never get around to doing it. So start your channel. If you want to name it something, name it. I've been thinking about just naming it me and making it more of a part of me, because it really is at this point, and changing the name. But decide what you want to name it and just roll with it. And if you're worried about the content in the first video, don't sweat it. By the 10th video, you'll be better. Create your logos, create your whatever, create your intros. Just do the basic stuff, do the good thumbnails, all the stuff that you'd have, and decide what type of coding channel do you want to be. Do you want to be more of a sort of simple programmer direction? Do you want to be more of a Derek Bonas long tutorial section? You do something similar to what I do, just do basic tutorials to teach yourself and put them up. Decide what route you want to go down in that space and continue on, and then be willing to kind of maneuver a little bit.
So how do you know when you've made it on YouTube?
I think when you get that silver play button, you're officially a YouTuber. I think that's it. There's a couple other things that you can kind of use as milestones, but it's all relative, right? So I look at Engineered Truth and I say, like, he's past that silver play button. He's bringing in the monies, and I aspire to get to that level one day. But I think if you want just a cold hard fact, if you get 100,000 subscribers, YouTube sends you a trophy to say you are a YouTuber. But it really is sort of a dedication process, right? So I was on my LinkedIn today and I actually put content creator for YouTube on my LinkedIn as something, because I'm very passionate about it. And it's been 2 years and 2 months, and it's taken me that long to get almost 23,000. So it's a sort of thing where when you're YouTube will recognize you at 100,000. I think it's more of a mindset thing when you're committing yourself to it every week, right? So it's kind of like a hobby, right? If you say, I'm a rollerblader, or I don't know, nobody rollerblades, but I'm a rollerblader, and you rollerblade every week, and you go to ice rinks or rollerblade rinks, and you have to kind of be immersed in the culture and be actively working towards something.
That's funny. Hey, I was a rollerblader back in the day. Don't you diss rollerbladers? They're still cool.
They're about as cool as mopeds, man.
Okay, maybe not so cool anymore, but yeah, I definitely totally agree with you. That's funny. Yeah, YouTube will give you an award just to thank you for having 100,000 subscribers, which is a good milestone of definitely when you start feeling like, wow, I've 100,000, and by that point you should be having quite a few views coming in. And I guess if you're a smaller channel, and some things I think of is like how many lives have I impacted? I know that sounds corny, but how many people actually got something out of it? And that, I don't get a trophy from YouTube or anything, but it makes me feel good that I was able to go out and help this one guy. And I actually just the other day, I think even saw in your Facebook group, someone just complimented you and said, "Hey, thank you. Your videos really helped me accomplish XYZ." And I think that's a really good feeling.
Yeah, it is. I know. I saw that post, and I've ran into somebody at a meetup who said, "Hey, I just got my first junior role, and let me tell you, your project videos helped me out a ton. Thank you so much." And it's really cool, right? Because it's not like I feel like none of us started this channel and imagine like we're going to be getting, 100,000 views a month, and that's going to mean 30,000 people are watching this and bettering their life, because it's hard to learn code. Chris Hawks did a video today basically saying, shut up and study, and it's going to be hard. There's nothing you can do about it. And sometimes when those moments where you just want to give in, and then somebody maybe posted a video on YouTube and it helped you through, you remember those. And it's appreciated when someone tells you that, because there's people that I look up to, right? That I'm like, yo, man, if I ever see Derek Bonas or I ever meet Traversing Media, I'm going to buy those guys a slice of pizza or a beer or something. Quincy Larson, the founder of Free Code Camp, he's somebody I look up to. I love what he's doing. So there's kind of these people that you look up to, and it's kind of a trip at time when, people tell you, you know what, man, I kind of consider you my mentor. I'm like, look, man, I'm just a dude in a StarCraft t-shirt. I'll help you any way I can. Thank you for the compliment.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we are awesome. We're pretty awesome people. We help people out.
Dude, I tell my girlfriend all the time, this should tell her to shut the fuck up. I say to her, baby, on a scale of 10 to 10, how great am I? So, I've been saying that joke for 7 years.
I got to steal that for my wife. Let's see what she says. That's funny. So yeah, we definitely kind of feeling going out there, and it is kind of a little scary, especially if you're getting in front of the camera like we are, and just riffing, just talking what you feel. And I think both of us can say we're not scripted. We're not writing every word down. We're just sitting here and talking whatever comes to mind, and whatever advice that we give, based on what our own experiences are. So I think that's awesome that we were able to get out there and do that. Is there any particular equipment? Everybody has the equipment question. Is there a particular equipment you would recommend for people wanting to start their own programming YouTube channel?
I would say just learn some basic software editing skills, maybe some animation to get an intro if you want. Some people are pro intros, pro outros. It just depends on what you're like. But you'll probably pick those up if you stick with your channel. In terms of microphones, the common one that a lot of people use is the Blue Yeti. That's pretty good. You can pick one up for about $80 now. It's also great for a podcast because you can change the settings. So depending on what you're doing, I've been thinking recently about starting a podcast and releasing it, and maybe releasing snippets of it on the YouTube channel, kind of go out in the separate sort of directions, but still kind of related. The green screen is kind of cool. I mean, you see we both are rocking it right now. So that adds a little bit of professionalism to the tutorials. It takes up a little less screen space. But really, it's about commitment. Equipment is great. If you want to be on camera, great. Some of the biggest YouTubers, Derek Bonas and Traversing Media, they've recently just started going on camera. So it's not necessarily a requirement, but you could get a webcam also. The Logitech, I think it's the CX920, is a pretty popular model for that.
Yeah, I have the 950 myself. Speaking of Traversing Media, I think, I haven't always been, I've always been a little bit weary of different YouTubers and the ones that do tutorials. That I know Traversing Media has been really successful. He has, if you pretty much search any YouTube programming term, he's probably going to show up either in the #1 spot or in the first 5 spots. But he has been trying to get out of his shell, talking a little bit more to the camera, which I think is great. I mean, his stuff is working either way, but I like to see a little bit of personality inside a YouTube channel. I think you got to ham it up a little bit. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that it all, there's a market for both, but I do think that something needs to be said about some people are very scripted and because they're uncomfortable. But I think part of the appeal of YouTube is being yourself and kind of having fun with it and going with it, because people want authentic, right? That's kind of the criticism as to why a lot of younger people don't necessarily like watching a lot of cable shows, and they spend more time watching YouTube because they like authentic. They just want someone to be themselves. And it does take you a while to sort of warm up and be comfortable. My first year of releasing videos was I didn't release a single opinion video. They were just me narrating what I was doing in my Codecademy tutorial. So I completely understand it, and it took me a while. And I remember recording videos where I wanted to talk about things that were passionate about coding, but I was so uncomfortable doing it that I never did. So I completely understand where some people are coming from. But I do think it's a natural thing as you build an audience and you get support, because 99% of people on YouTube will be supportive, and you just assume that 1% of the populations are idiots, that you'll not take them seriously and just take the support. But a lot of people focus on negativity, but as long as you just kind of look at it like that, you'll eventually break out of your shell, I think.
And I think at the beginning, you shouldn't expect a ton of views, and you probably won't get much negativity, but you won't get much positivity either. You might just be talking to yourself for a while until the Google algorithm picks up your videos or you start promoting it. Which reminds me, what do you think about promotion of your videos? Do you actively promote, or do you let Google do a little bit? Or
I'm actively starting a new promotion called Coding Dudes. It is where I am going to start naked, similar to Coding Babes, and just put more clothes on as you get the programming questions right. No, I actually am pretty horrible with promotion. So probably one of the best things that I've done in the past was collaborate. But usually I think between you and one other person, or three people, I've been on their channels. But for the most part, I like inviting people on mine, and I always feel weird saying, "Hey, why don't you pull me on your channel?" Because it is sort of a selfish thing at the end of the day. Say, "Hey, man, I need some of your subs, please." Like, that's basically what you're saying, even though you're collaborating, having fun, and giving value and whatnot. But collaborations are a great thing you can do. One thing that I started doing recently is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, at the end of the video, I have like a keyword. As long as you like the video and you watch the video and you're a sub, if you use the keyword, you get a free course. Not everybody, but I give away a course every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday videos as a way to do that. That's something I started recently. I don't even know if it's helping, to be honest, at this point. But there are things that you can do like that. But for the most part, I think it's collaborations. And if you have, a Facebook page where you can share your stuff, other people will watch it as well. So.
I was going to say too, with collaborations, I've collaborated with a handful of people on YouTube, and it's gone pretty well. I mean, some better than others, but one person, talking about Chris Hawks, you mentioned earlier, he won't do any collaborations. He flat out made a video the other day that said, well, probably like a couple months ago, that said he really dislikes doing collaborations, especially with anybody that hasn't been on the platform as long as him or as big of a channel as him. I mean, sounds like, depending on the personality and the person, it will be hard for you to get collaboration, especially with larger channels.
I got a maybe out of Chris Hawks, man. I've asked him like 3 times, because I don't even want to be on his channel. I genuinely want to interview people I'm interested in. And so, but I completely get it. I've also been trying to get Traversy Media and get them on the channel. But I think what you have in those situations are guys who are a little bit uncomfortable being on camera. Even though Chris Hawks is on camera most of the time, it's just him. He's just, yelling at stupid people, doing stupid things, or whatever the topic is. Yeah, not everybody's going to be open to it. And there's kind of a range, right? There's a lot of channels that if you're not within a certain, whatever their bounds are, they won't say, you have 2,000 subs, I have 200,000. Why am I, what do I get out of it? And I try not to look at it like that, because I want to support people who are active and continuing the grind, right? But I think, like, for me, I probably would just want someone to have a couple thousand to show that they've kind of stuck with it. Because I've had people who have had 7 subscribers ask to collab. I'm like, dude, you have 2 videos up, man. I don't even know if you're dedicated to this.
Yeah. I guess you're right. It depends on the collaboration. If you're, you can have this kind of mentor-mentee kind of mentality with some new YouTubers, or if you're a larger channel, you want to help someone out. But you're going to have to be the type of person that thinks that's, that makes you happy, that makes you happy helping someone else like that out. And sometimes you got to, I guess, to defend Chris Hawks. I'm glad he gave you a maybe. I didn't, he's, from what I've seen, he's gives.
I think he might have been laying me down easy, because I've been persistent.
But yeah, it's one of those things that, you have to when you approach a channel that's larger than yours and you want to do a collab, you're gonna have to say, well, how can I help this person out, rather than how can they help me out? And that's hard to do when you have 100 subs and they have 100,000 subs.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you can't collab. If you have 1,000 subs, you can't collab with someone who has 5,000, right? Or 10,000, because there are a lot of channels, especially in the coding space. I come across a lot of channels kind of in the 20 to 40,000 range, where I think someone started it and they had a couple of good tutorials and then they kind of trailed off. Like for me, man, I have, I think, almost 600 videos of just whatever up right now. Not everyone's going to do that. Everyone maybe they put up some quality tutorials and go down a different path, and then they don't stick with it. But there's a lot of people that are not okay being on another person's channel, because the whole thing about YouTube is, look, man, it's me. I control it. I can do it. But in terms of collab, you just have to be realistic, right? Like most people, if they're 10 times the size of your channel, probably aren't going to collab unless it makes a lot of sense for them.
So you hear it here first. If you want to collab with Dylan, you can join the Facebook group and ask, and he may just collab with you. In fact, if you got this far in the video, go to the Facebook group and just say hi. And if you are starting a YouTube channel, let us know, because I'm serious about this, and we may not collab with you if you only have one video, but we're going to definitely help you out, especially if you just post in the Facebook group what you're doing. It doesn't have to, we probably want to stick with programming. We don't want to like a bunch of non-programmers going into the group. But if you're starting a programming channel, join the Facebook group and let us know, and we'll do what we can to help you out.
Yeah. I've established a 10% rule. So if you have 10% of whatever my subs are, let's go. Like, and because to me, I don't have that many subs. Like in terms of YouTube, and I think you should be able to get to 10% if you stick with something for 2 months. And at the very least, if you want to be interviewed on my channel and we can do content that way, great, man. I always love for people to promote their shit. This is a great platform because people are interested in it, right? If you're a programming channel and you want to talk about your course and you just talk to us about your knowledge as a Python developer, all right, cool. Let's see. If you want to do a 30-second shout out to your channel or a 60-second shout out to your course, it would be rude for me to say no.
Yep. Exactly. Well, I think that is good. I think we're going to wrap it up. So thank you again, Dylan. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. And we'll have to get you on the channel pretty soon to talk about how much you regret that we joined forces.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm already regretting now. I'm just kidding. Take care.
All right, have a good one, man.